to go!
Today is May 23rd, 2020, and this marks the 10-year anniversary of Super Mario Galaxy 2. I can't believe it myself. I didn't get the game until the summer of 2011, but I remember everyone at school and church talking about the game. Everyone was just so excited to get the game, and here I was just beginning my journey into the world of Mario with New Super Mario Bros. And because it's been a decade since Super Mario Galaxy 2, I wanted to celebrate by doing a list ranking every 3D Mario game. I already did a list ranking every 2D Mario game, and because of the rampant rumors about 3D Mario remakes coming to the Switch, the 10th anniversary of Super Mario Galaxy 2, and the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Bros., this is the perfect time to make the list. And not only that, 3D Mario games are my favorite series of games. Unlike the Mario Kart and 2D Mario lists, there's no exceptions or discrepancies here. There are 8 3D Mario games in total, with no arcade titles, no games that have a different protagonist, or anything like that. It's straight to the point. So without further ado, here is every 3D Mario game ranked. At number 8, we have Super Mario 3D Land, also known as, the little game that saved the 3DS. After rewatching my retrospective on the game, I've come to the realization I was way too harsh on it. Sure, the game isn't original in many aspects, such as the enemies and world themes, but you know what is original? The gameplay. As Miyamoto put it, it's a 3D Mario game that plays like a 2D one. This was the first original 3D Mario game on a handheld, and with 3D Mario games, they are known to push the limit of the hardware and take advantage of it. And 3D Land did just that. The game looks incredible in 3D, and even though it's an early 3DS game, it's still one of the best looking and best uses of 3D. The gameplay is solid, and the controls are great. The level design is very well thought out, and it works very well for a handheld game. It's perfect for on-the-go play. And because this is a different kind of 3D Mario game, Mario can use power-ups at any time this time around. This is a welcome addition, and even though most power-ups aren't new, they're fun to use, and hey, the Tanuki suit is back, and this game wants you to know that full well. While I will admit, the game is on the easy side and it's not very original, it's still great. Going back to 3D Land had me pleasantly surprised, and if the lowest ranked game on the list is a really good game, you could imagine it only gets better from here.
It's me, Mario!
At number 7, we have the 3D Mario game that started it all, Super Mario 64. This is a game that brought Mario into 3D and set the standard for every 3D platformer following it. What Nintendo did here was revolutionary. You would expect the jump from 2D into 3D to take a more 3D Land style approach, but instead, you're collecting these stars in a sandbox style world, and it's great. I do wish you could collect all the stars in any order instead of just some, but either way, the exploration in the game is great. It's what makes it so fun and memorable. Not only that, but it's still fun to play today. Nintendo 64 games usually age as well as Donatello Versace, but Super Mario 64 is one of the few that's aged very well. While I do think some of the courses like Rainbow Cruise and TikTok Clock to an extent just suck, a majority of them are so much fun to play. Overall, Super Mario 64 is a great game that's aged well, and one of the most important games of all time. Did you guys like Mario 64? Well, here's more of it. Super Mario 64 DS was the first 3D Mario game I played, and it was a launch title for the DS. It's also the only 3D Mario remake as of now. It was clearly a launch title to show off the raw power of the DS being able to handle full-on console games, but needless to say, this remake added quite a bit of new content. So in a way, it's almost a pseudo-sequel. Everything I said about Super Mario 64 applies here, but instead of just Mario, you can now play as 3 other characters being Yoshi, Luigi, finally, and Wario. And this will be the only time Wario is playable in a 3D Mario game. I'm a sucker for multiple playable characters, and the way they handle them here is in a few cases, you'll have to use specific characters to get certain power stars. On top of that, there are even more stars to collect now, with some smaller worlds being added such as one based on Mario Sunshine. And speaking of those areas, there's a multiplayer battle mode, which is like a mix of Mario Kart's Balloon Battle and Mario 64. Can I just say how much fun this is? I wish something like this would appear in another 3D Mario game. But despite all these new additions, I hear a lot of complaints about the controls. And yeah, they're not as good as it is on a system with an analog stick. But if you play it on the 3DS with a circle pad, it really improves the experience and lets you enjoy the new content much more. If the rumor about 3D Mario remakes coming to the Switch is true, I would love to see them have a mode similar to Donkey Kong Country Returns and Tropical Freeze ports that have an option for new and original mode. New being 64DS, original being Super Mario 64 and then 64. That way it'll not only play better, but it will also be in HD. Overall, despite some control issues, I find Super Mario 64 DS to be more enjoyable than the original, and the best part is, it only gets better from here. Super Mario Sunshine was released almost a year after the GameCube came out, and it took a new spin on 3D Mario. When Sunshine launched, fans were mixed on the game. Some hated FLUDD, and some didn't like it just because it was quote-unquote too different from Mario 64. But I actually think it's way more fun. I would say 64 is better overall because there are no blue coins or padding like Sunshine has, but man, the initial playthrough of Sunshine is even more fun than 64. Because the game is themed around a vacation, or holiday if you live anywhere else besides the US, I found the environments far more interesting than they were in Mario 64. You have locations such as an amusement park, a hotel, a harbor, and many others. They really nailed the vacation theme here, and another difference is the enemies. I feel 3D Mario games sometimes play it a bit too safe with the enemies, but in Sunshine, there are no Goombas or Koopas in sight. Super Mario Sunshine plays similarly to Mario 64, but you have FLUDD which gives you more moves. Sometimes you can use different nozzles too. I never understood why people didn't like FLUDD. The reason why 3D Mario games are so much fun to play is the wide array of moves Mario can use. FLUDD just enhances the experience, but if you don't like him, there are pure platforming sections where you can't use him at all. While Sunshine does have some critical flaws such as the blue coins and some shines that are absolutely ridiculous to get, the first initial playthrough is so good that I had to rank it higher than 64. But if a remake does indeed happen that fixes some of the issues I listed by including some new worlds instead of blue coins, it would easily be my second favorite 3D Mario game. Who's ready for a trip back in time? Remember when linear 3D Mario was considered such a horrible thing to some? Well, I can understand the criticism. It was mainly because we didn't have an open world 3D Mario game at the time. But because we did end up getting a certain open world 3D Mario game years later, I think most fans have grown to love 3D World. And I'm so happy to see it's getting the praise it deserves nowadays. Every complaint I had about 3D Land is pretty much gone here. While there are a few things that feel generic, those are few and far between compared to the creativity in this game. And the difficulty here is more balanced as well. Super Mario 3D World took the 3D Land formula and perfected it. Rather than rescuing Peach, we are now rescuing the Sprixies from Bowser, which means that there are now 4 main playable characters and 1 secret one. I won't spoil that secret character just in case you never played it, and that means the cast from Super Mario Bros. 2 is back with their own abilities. Mario's an all-around guy, Luigi's a high jumper, Toad can run the fastest but has a weak jump, and Peach can hover but she's slow. Unlike 64 DS, you can use really any characters you want, except for the switches that require a certain character. But really, those switches only take up 1% of the game, and they don't matter unless you're 100%ing the game. Unlike 3D Land, this game introduces a ton of new power-ups. There's a cat suit, which is one of Mario's best and most versatile power-ups, the double cherry, the masks you can wear, and even Karibo's ice skates. Now that's a fun twist on a classic power-up. Also improved from 3D Land are the levels. Sure, there are a few generic ones, but like I said before, those are few and far between. I won't spoil them all, but some of my favorites are Hands-on Hall, Mount Must Dash, Double Cherry Pass, Sprawling Savannah, and pretty much every level in World 8. There are a lot of creative ideas and unique themes for levels here, all which are designed very well and are a lot of fun to play. There's even sections where you ride a dinosaur named Plessy as a homage to Mario 64's sliding sections. There's also Captain Toad levels where you control Captain Toad in these diorama-like worlds, but the catch is, he can't jump. These levels were so much fun that they were taken and expanded upon in the game Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Can I say how much fun that game is? If you've never played it, you can play it on the Wii U, 3DS, or Switch, and it's definitely one of my favorites on those systems. This is also the first and only 3D Mario game to have true co-op with up to 4 players, and it's better than it's ever been before. You can either team up or play competitively, and it's great. From its power-ups to playable characters to its creativity and level design, presentation, and even multiplayer, Super Mario 3D World is a phenomenal game that remains one of my favorite 3D Mario games, and one of my favorite games. And the good thing is, there are 3D Mario games that are even better than it. Back towards the beginning of 6th grade, I was having a rough start. I didn't know anyone in my school, and it was difficult getting used to. So one of the first weeks of middle school, my dad and I went to the mall and we got Super Mario Galaxy, and then after that, we went to the pier and saw manatees. It was a pretty great day. Just wanted to bring it up. Although I played Super Mario Galaxy 2 first, I wanted to play the first one badly. And the great news about being a Wii adopter in 2010 to 2011 was most of the games were out, and most games were labeled as Nintendo Selects, so I got a lot of them for $20. Story aside, Super Mario Galaxy is a perfect balance of open world 3D Mario and linear 3D Mario. Rather than having 7 to 15 open stages, the game is split into galaxies, each with as many as 6 stars to collect, or as little as 1 to collect. Some stars will be in a specific path, but you'll have to hunt for some secret stars as well. The galaxies are unique, memorable, and excellently designed. My favorite being the Toy Time Galaxy, the Honey Hive Galaxy, and the Sweet Sweet Galaxy. And because the game takes place in space, there's a lot of planets you can walk around, and there's anti-gravity mechanics. Years before Mario Kart 8. Take that. The space theme is done very well here, and even though that means a lot of the levels are darker because of the night sky, the game still looks great. Super Mario Galaxy also introduced a lot of power-ups to the 3D Mario series, with my favorite being the Ice Flower and the Bee Mushroom. The presentation of Super Mario Galaxy still looks great, and it goes to show that a game can still look beautiful even if it's not in HD. And of course, Galaxy was a perfect showcase of the Wii's hardware. Super Mario Galaxy is a phenomenal game that has excellent level design, creative and interesting locations, great gameplay, and a great presentation. There's not much to say beyond that because it's been universally acclaimed since pretty much day one, and it was so good that it brings us to the next game on the list, which is... So far the only direct sequel to a 3D Mario game, Super Mario Galaxy 2 manages to be even better than the first game. While I do miss the higher emphasis on the space theme and story elements from the first game, Super Mario Galaxy 2's levels and gameplay managed to be even better than the first, so that's why it's higher. Everything I said about Galaxy applies here as well, but there are so many new additions that make Galaxy 2 even better. The new power-ups being the Cloud Flower and Rock Mushroom are so much fun to use, and I would love to see them return. And most importantly, Yoshi appears in the game, and he even has his own selection of power-ups, and whenever you add Yoshi to a 3D Mario game, or any Mario game for that matter, it really just enhances the experience. And as always, the galaxies are creative and better than ever before. They did ditch the more darker and spacey look that Galaxy 1 had for a brighter, more colorful look, but honestly, I'm fine with that. I think Galaxy 2 manages to look even better than the first game, to be honest with you. But overall, Galaxy 2 takes Super Mario Galaxy and manages to make it even better. All the new additions, better level design, and even a new soundtrack make it not just one of the best Mario games ever made, but one of the best games ever made. It's considered one of the best games of the last decade for sure, and even one of the best games of all time. But the real question is, how on earth could you even top Galaxy 1 and 2? Or how in the solar system could you top Galaxy 1 and 2? Well...
From 2012 to 2016, it was somewhat of a dark time for the mainline Mario series. Besides 3D World, his games were dripping down the pipe in quality. We got 2 mediocre new Super Mario Bros. Games, and the influence of new Super Mario Bros. Carried on over to spin-offs like Paper Mario, and even Mario and Luigi. But at the end of every tunnel, there is light. There is hope. And on January 13th, 2017, not only was everything Mario about to change, but my life was about to change forever.
Mario Odyssey. The moment I saw the 5 seconds of footage in the Switch reveal trailer, I was excited. But the night I witnessed Super Mario Odyssey getting its first formal trailer, that was simply mind-blowing. And the second was easily the best game trailer ever made. It kept on getting better from there. The wait was unbearable. It was on my mind constantly up until release. But finally, October 27th, 2017 came, and oh my gosh, words cannot describe the sheer amazement I experienced with Super Mario Odyssey. It's nearly everything I wanted in a Mario game. Super Mario Odyssey is a true return to form. It takes the sandbox gameplay of 64 and Sunshine, but expands upon it so much. Instead of missions, you can do whatever you want for the most part. There are so many different ways to collect moons, and the game has a ton of them. The game was specifically designed to be played in short bursts for handheld play, but long periods for console play. That's why there are so many moons. 3D Mario games are also known to push the hardware of the console they're on, and Super Mario Odyssey certainly did that. Mario also has a new partner being Cappy, and just like Flood, Cappy enhances the experience so much. Mario has so many moves at his disposal, which make playing the game a blast. The capture feature is so much fun to use, and adds a ton of variety to the gameplay. The levels range in size, but each of them are open in nature, and you're free to explore them as you please. The presentation of the game is flawless, and the characters have been redesigned in a way that incorporate a little bit of realism into them, while also being true to the design. I really wish Nintendo would embrace the Odyssey design for Mario so much more, and I find it odd they're still using plastic Mario. Why use the plastic design when you got this godly design right here for Mario? But oh my gosh, the creativity in the game is pouring. Super Mario Odyssey did so many things to the Mario series that would absolutely be unheard of before then. None of the locations feel generic. Most of the locations are based on real-world locations, with my favorite being the Sand Kingdom, the Metro Kingdom, and the Luncheon Kingdom. I loved all the main kingdoms in the game, and I do wish they expanded upon some of the smaller ones, but needless to say, they are brilliantly designed and very creative. Another big addition are costumes for Mario. At first glance, it might not seem like a big deal, but before Odyssey, just seeing Mario wearing short sleeves in Sunshine was cool. Imagine how I felt about seeing him wear a sombrero and a poncho, and even nothing but a cap and boxers. It really brings more personality and customization to Mario than ever before, and it's something I wanted ever since 3D World. Nowadays, it's common to see Mario characters out of their normal attire, but back then, it was simply mind-blowing. And that sums up the theme of the game: sheer surprise and creativity. There are so many elements in the game you would never expect to be in a Mario game. When you saw the T-Rex in the E3 2017 trailer, I really doubt you thought it was Super Mario Odyssey. Super Mario Odyssey is a game that took so many risks when it comes to the Mario series, while also retaining the core concepts that we love. It set a new direction for the Mario series, and I consider it to be one of the most important Mario games ever made, and one that will hopefully influence every following Mario game. Words cannot describe how phenomenal Super Mario Odyssey is, and to put it simply, it is mind-blowing. It's not only my favorite Mario game of all time, it's my favorite game of all time. If you've never played it, you're in for the experience of a lifetime. So there you have it. This concludes my Every Super Mario Game Ranked series. Last time we took a look at the 2D games, and today we took a look at the 3D games. I've enjoyed every 3D Mario game, and even with 3D Land, its only faults are being unoriginal and a bit easy. The 3D Mario games are unlike any other, and I hope that not only will Nintendo make a sequel to Super Mario Odyssey, but make more 3D platformers as well. Maybe this decade could be the renaissance of 3D platformers. I hope you enjoyed my list. I had a lot of fun making it, and as you can probably tell, I feel strongly about 3D Mario. And what is your favorite 3D Mario? If I had to guess, it'd be probably Galaxy 1 or 2. Let me know in the comments if I was right, and as always, keep calm and Dada on.